unless we have an extreme emergency, I will not vote to raise taxes. I'm not going to say I can lower taxes at this point.
What about the public input into some of these decisions, like the sheriff's palace or the pot factory? How do you feel about these things being done without any public input?
Well, they definitely should have had it, and if I'm elected, we will have not just a public forum once every 3 months with the whole board. I'll call them firehouse chats regularly myself, and if the other commissioners...
Yeah, because right now they have it set up so if you want to talk to them about an issue, you get 3 minutes once every 4 months. So you get 12 minutes a year.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
What makes them so special?
If you take the time to come to a public hearing, you should be able to voice your concern. And I've told everybody that if I'm elected, you come to the public hearing with the issue, you'll see me the next day. I'm not going to refer you to a department. You'll see me. Not saying I can fix it, but you'll see me personally. So, and one thing, I'm retired, and when I get elected, I'm going to be a full-time commissioner. I'm going to be either in the office or riding around.
Okay.
And I don't want to use the word micromanage, but the department heads, we hire them. We're elected by the people. We hire them. They will report to us. There'll be none of this building that snuck through.
Right. Well, that went into a residential area in the critical areas without any kind of public input. And your opponent was part of that. He never sounded the alarm. He never called from the rooftop, said, this is what's happening, folks, and it could happen in your neighborhood too.
Right.
And they're very glib about it, and very smug, and they think there's nothing wrong with it. And plus, they pack in a lot of money from these developers and builders. What's that all about? Are you taking donations from these big builders and developers too?
I did not ask. I did not advertise for donations.
Yeah.
I've had people offer me money, and the first thing I say is, I don't need money.
You loan your own campaign money.
I save my money, and
Right.
I'm spending my money again with these times. And if I ask you for money and lose, I feel like I've wasted your money. So that's why I think if I waste money, I'm gonna waste mine.
Right.
And I think I've got a good investment there.
Roy, it looks like we've had a lot of trouble getting State Highway to pay attention to our transportation problems. The gridlock at Great Mills, the Thomas Johnson Bridge, 5 years to widen 1 mile of highway in Leonardtown.
Yeah.
You think you can light a fire into these people?
I would think that we'd be calling them every day.
Right.
To, hey, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I rode the Point Lookout last week, and that's a mess down there.
Yeah, I was there 20 years ago where a school bus and a tractor trailer collided on a road and went into the ditches, and they had to take kids out with ambulances.
Well, now they've tore up one side of the road, but it's a mess. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't see why we can't get one project done and then move on and get another one done. If you're gonna work 2 or 3, make sure you got good contractors out there. And I'm all for anything we need. Well, when you fool with the state, you gotta do things a little differently. But anything that pertains to St. Mary's County, I want St. Mary's County people working on it. That money will stay if a contract company comes in and pulls trash or fixes a road. If it's local, they'll pay their employees, then they'll shop at the St. Mary's County.
On to another subject. You've lived here all your life. You ever seen crimes and shooting and gangs shooting each other on public roads at 4 o'clock in the afternoon before in Lexington Park like we've had this year, murders?
The only time I seen crime that bad was when I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. They used to shoot the soldiers when they walked down the street during the Vietnam War. I've worked Lexington Park, like I say, for the telephone company and Safeway. I worked there in its heyday. When I was in high school, we had our own milk delivery company. My brother was a driver, and I used to work with him during the summer, and we delivered milk to Pete's Galley, the everything in Lexington Park. Lexington Park was booming, and to let it go like this, and for the commissioner to say they've dropped $70 million in it, I'm like, where's it at? You know, we built that building.
Anything else for you?
$6 million. We could have put 30 deputies on the road for that, and we got again, everything is good if you got plenty of money, but you need to get results from the money you spend. You know, you need to know going in. If you need $6 million, what are you going to return to the county? You know, you just can't give it out. And
well, I asked Commissioner Guy, who thought having a sheriff's palace was a good idea, and he said, well, the staff developed that. I said, why didn't you ask the public? I said, well, you put up a $26 million building and you're going to put cops in it? Why couldn't the cops go on the road instead? Or is there crime going on to go on that building?
Well, they take the cars home, why don't they report from work from home?
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, people go down there. I go to Lexington Park every now and then, and you know, if it's not open, it's not doing any good. You know, and I like to see results for the money spent. You know, when I spend my money, I want it to be for a purpose.
Over the last 30 years, the county commissioners have fully funded education. You know, every time the Board of Education comes in and says we need things, they fund them.
Right.
Will you continue to do that too?
Oh yeah, the two priorities I think in any community is public safety and education.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got to take care of that. I will at least maintenance of effort and whatever else we can afford to get.
Okay.
Again, we need parameters, but we know what we're getting for that money.
Now, you've been getting around. You just came from a funeral for a well-known fellow in Leonardtown, Frankie Tippett. What kind of reaction are you getting from people, not necessarily at the funeral, but everywhere where you've been campaigning, early voting, going to parades and so forth? What are people telling you?
I've been getting a good response, you know, because every election year you always hear, well, we're going to vote everybody out, and it doesn't happen and stuff. And, you know, and I tell you too, a lot of people, some are ready for a change, some are happy with the way things are. And, you know, and when I was at Golden Beach, I told them, I said, you know, I did all the phone work up here. I know the territory, you know, I know the county. Elizabeth O'Connor said she traveled St. Mary's County for 22 years. I traveled them for 38.
There you go.
North, south. Now, her trips were more important because there was might have been something going on. And but as far as time, I gotta be. I mean, I traveled Mount Wolf to Point Little Goat, Colton Point to Sodley, all points in there. I did all Target, Giant, all the businesses down that way. Like I said, I did all the internet, not by myself, but you know, our crew did all the internet, boosting the base, boosting what the field.
So when you've been out talking to people, like you said at Golden Beach, do you find people are kind of really upset now? You were talking about the cost of prices in the grocery store and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that is different now with the inflation, the gas price of gas?
Yeah, I was at the food line in Charlotte Hall, just stopped in there to walk around. And you get to talk to people, and like, you know, if I pick someone and say, look at this, and they talk about it, they said, yeah, it's really, really hurting us, you know, the price of gas, the price of food. The money that they could maybe be saving for vacations, they're spending it just to get by. You know, there's no wiggle room for stuff. You know, there's no money for extra. I was at the gas pump the other day, and the guy filling up his truck. He said, "This is killing him." He said, "I work in Waldorf every day, and I'm driving this truck up here." I was talking to a trucker that had a trucking business. He said, when gas goes up 5 cents, it costs him $20,000 extra a year overall. He said, and he said, he said, I'm just doing my jobs locally now. I'm not even taking a big job and stuff. And
I know that I filled up a 5-gallon can of gas the other day. It cost $26.
Yeah.
$26
to cut grass.
To cut grass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, and this kind is a great county. We got the base, people make great money on the base and stuff, and then when you get to California, head north, you got, the farming community is what I call it, and they're thriving, Then we have, like I say, when I grew up on a tobacco farm, which is tough work. Backbreaking work, and I did it for $2 a day, but you did it, and I tell people I was raised poor, but I had a great childhood. My brother and I ran through the woods, we climbed trees, my brother's a Vietnam veteran. I've got two other brothers that served in my oldest brother served in Korea. I got another brother that was stationed in Germany, and I was stationed at Fort Bragg. And
so your experience in raising a family, earning a living, are you trying to say that you would have respect for the treasures of the taxpayer that you take from them and respect how their money is spent?
Well,
is that a fair thing to say?
I would think so. I've been, when I first married, I lived paycheck to paycheck. I remember getting my check, buying groceries, paying my bills, and not having 50 cents to get a soda out of the machine the next day. And then I'd work overtime. And again, my wife didn't work because we had, small kids, and it helped them to get she read to them and helped get them going and stuff. And with my traveling around to the different houses, installing phones, I've seen the good, I've seen the bad. We're better off now than we were 20 years ago.
Okay, now let me ask you this. What do people need to do now to vote for you? Where do they need to go? Tell them.
Well, I don't have a website, okay?
Okay, but they don't vote there.
No. I'm gonna be at the polls. I'm gonna do some. I'm figuring on going to Golden Beach next couple of days, do some door knocking and some appearances.
But you got early voting going on.
Right. Yeah, and I was at the poll yesterday from time 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
But they can go to Mechanicsville, Bay District, and Hollywood Firehouse for early voting.
Right.
Every day, even Saturday and Sunday. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, Roy Alvey, I hope we get to talk to you again before the election. And Roy is running for the Republican County Commissioners, District 1, St. Mary's County on July 19th. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.